Hey everyone, today's topic is bike security, otherwise known as how not to get your bike stolen. We've got a lot of different products to cover here, so we'll get to them in a moment, but the first thing I want to go over is the obvious. If you have a very expensive bike, it could be monetary, it could be emotional. Here's the best piece of advice from this video. Do not lock it up outside. Doesn't matter which lock you put on it, all you're doing is just minimizing the chance of it getting stolen, but you're never getting it down to zero. If you care for it, take it with you into the building, leave it inside of the car, not on the car rack. Now that we've got the obvious out of the way, let's move on to some of this great stuff we have here. The first lock are cable locks. These are two great examples. They're fairly inexpensive, $20 to $40. They come in combo versions, and they come in keyed versions. This is the lowest device on the totem pole. These are fairly easy to cut for a thief. The name of the game here is making it a pain in the rear for them to unlock the bike. Basically, you'll take this, you'll unlock it, you'll route it through the front wheel, through the frame, and then hopefully to an immovable object like a telephone pole or a bike station. You can use a parking meter, but then you have to keep in mind that sometimes the thief can just lift it straight up from under it. Again, pretty basic, but effective. The next locks are U-locks. These are great examples of them. They come in keyed versions, and they come in combo versions as well. These are one step up from the cable locks. These are all metal over here. These things come in different thicknesses, if you will, and obviously the locking mechanism seems a lot more durable. Believe it or not, although these are very sturdy looking, they can be cut in a few seconds as well. A few seconds being defined as under 30. How do you get this thing around a bike? You take this, you unlock it, and then you put it through the frame and hopefully through the rear wheel if you can, and then onto that immovable object again, be it a telephone pole or be it a bike station. This is all in an effort to make it difficult for the thief to take the bike, but again, compared to this over here, this literally takes under 5 seconds to cut. This might take them around 30, and for a thief, 25 seconds is an eternity. The last lock is your basic chain and a padlock. Now, in a more sophisticated version of this, you have Kryptonite's Forget About It, which is renowned in the Manhattan market. Professional messengers and couriers use them. They're great, but again, we're talking about 30 to 45 seconds before they get clipped as well, or cut. Basically, you take the chain, you run it through the front wheel, through the frame, into an immovable object, and that's pretty much it. There's another category of locks out there. We call them pinheads. Basically, they're skewers that you replace on your bike. So instead of, people will not only steal your bike, if they can't steal the bike, they'll steal your front wheel, they'll steal your seat, which we see happen all the time in the city. And these devices replace the skewers that come on your bike with a system that requires a special tool to unlock it. Makes it a little bit more difficult. Again, not impossible, but it's all about making it harder for them to take. Finally, I want to give you some tips. Number one, take your seat with you when you go somewhere. Tip number two, take the front wheel off. Take it with you, or you could take the front wheel off to make it easier to put a lock on it with the frame. Finally, if you can't find an immovable object, again, like a telephone pole, and you have a buddy and you have two bikes, lock them up against each other. Because if you've ever tried to drag two bikes together, you'll know how difficult that is and unseemly. Thanks as usual for watching. We appreciate it. Until next time, take care.